Hi everyone, my name is Isaac, and throughout all of my schooling, I've always used some sort of MacBook Pro model. In high school, my first laptop was actually the 17-inch MacBook Pro from like 2008 or something that I bought used. Then I sold that, got the 2013 13-inch MacBook Pro with a CD drive. Then in 2016, I got the 15-inch MacBook Pro with Touch Bar, and I've been using it ever since for video editing, for school. It's been an absolute tank. It's a fantastic overall machine. So I just recently got the 2018 13-inch MacBook Pro with Touch Bar to see what the overall experience would be like using a smaller overall computer, but with some of the new upgraded internals for 2018. Now the 15-inch model is definitely more powerful than the 13-inch model, but I just love the overall form factor of this computer. It's just so small, so compact, so lightweight, and the experience so far has been great. Now my model in specific has the Intel i7 8th generation processor, 16GB of RAM, Intel Iris Plus graphics 655, and a terabyte of SSD storage. So this is basically on the higher end of 2018 13-inch MacBook Pro models, and it is definitely an expensive overall computer. And for students, MacBook Pros are also hella expensive as well. We all pretty much know that, they're pricier computers, but here's the thing. When you buy a new MacBook Pro or really any other Apple product, they hold value like crazy. After using my 2016 MacBook Pro for 2 years straight every single day that I paid $3,500 Canadian for new, I was able to actually list my computer for sale locally about 2 weeks ago and get offers for around $2,800 and $2,900 Canadian. Considering how close it is to the original purchase price, that's pretty great overall resale value. And this kind of applies to all Apple products as well. The price is expensive at first, but you can also sell these products down the line and recoup a lot of that value just through resale, which is pretty great. The education website also offers a pretty decent discount for students as well, and if you buy a MacBook Pro during the back to school sale, you get a free pair of Beats as well that you can totally sell off right away, pay off some of your MacBook Pro purchase. But these things kind of make buying a new MacBook Pro a bit more digestible after some of these discounts. This is all kind of stuff before you even actually use the MacBook Pro itself. Now, buying a MacBook Pro, you can expect to have a beautiful, well-polished, solid design. It's an Apple product. The display lifts up with one finger, which is a very underrated laptop feature, and that reveals the new upgraded Butterfly keyboard. Now the new Butterfly keyboard is actually much more reliable than the previous Butterfly keyboard on past MacBook Pro models, and I also really do kind of enjoy the design of the Butterfly mechanism. Now this keyboard isn't really for everyone, it has a very low key travel, it's quite shallow, but for me, I've really gotten used to it after 2 years of using it, and I really enjoy it. The trackpad here is huge, but it's also a fantastic overall trackpad. I was pretty lukewarm about it at first on my 15-inch MacBook Pro, but I eventually got used to it, and I started to really enjoy it. I don't really ever bring a mouse to school to use with my MacBook Pro, it's just that reliable and that good. USB-C is definitely something to get used to on this computer, especially with computers in general in 2018, but I've completely embraced it. I pretty much bought USB-C cables for all my different accessories like my SSDs, my hard drives, my printers, all those different things, they're all USB-C. The only thing I really miss on this computer is having an SD card slot. I need an adapter for that, but besides that, the USB-C life is good once you adapt to it. The display up front also looks fantastic. It's 2560 by 1600, it's beautiful, accurate, bright, very colorful, and it makes pretty much all the content on it look stellar. I use it for video editing and photo editing all the time, and it works great. The size of the 13-inch MacBook Pro is definitely different compared to the 15-inch MacBook Pro. It's just much smaller, much more compact, and also much easier to bring around as well. And for me personally, I actually prefer this smaller screen size. But the only negative being is you can't configure this MacBook with up to an i9 processor, 32GB of RAM, and dedicated graphics. Because I would totally buy a fully spec'd out version of the 13-inch model with all those super high-end powerful specifications, but it's just not possible this year. So hopefully next year. So for actually using this computer for me personally, I actually went to college for advertising, marketing, and communications, and I'm going to university in like a few days now to take a creative focused advertising course. And basically in all these courses, we make a lot of advertisements, we present them in creative different manners, and we also make videos here and there for the occasional extra pop for these presentations. In addition to school, of course, YouTube video making as well, the computer has to hold up, and for my testing so far, the experience has been fantastic. For heavy tasks using Photoshop, InDesign, Final Cut Pro 10, which I mainly use, this computer works pretty well for all of those things. Now when you have some really complex Photoshop images with a whole bunch of different layers and complex video timelines in Final Cut, you will see some occasional performance drops and lag occasionally. But nothing where you're going to be sitting there for like 10 minutes waiting for something to happen, or like where it's completely unusable or anything. This computer still flies, it's super quick, super snappy, and my experience has been great so far. Keep in mind the exact things you do on your computer for school, for work, for personal use, what your program actually needs you to have on your computer, and buy the exact model you need for these different things, because you can't upgrade any of these things after the fact. The specifications are set in stone. Regret is really an awful thing, and I bought the 512GB SSD model for my 15-inch MacBook Pro, and basically every single day when editing videos, I regretted that purchase decision because I just keep running out of space. So buy the model you need, don't cheap out, because you can't fix it after the fact. But one of the biggest MacBook Pro features that keeps me using a Mac as long as I'm in school, and also just Mac OS in general, is the Apple iWork suite. Pages, Keynote, and Numbers. These programs pretty much destroy Microsoft Office for me personally, and for those who work with me in college on different projects, they pretty much know my dedication to these programs. They're just great. Keynote has to be my favorite of all of these by far. It's just super intuitive, you can make beautiful slides, animations are very smooth, there's a whole bunch of cool features built into this program that take it to the next level compared to PowerPoint. This kind of leads me into iCloud. It's not the absolute best cloud storage option available on the market, but the thing it does though that's very unique is puts all your different files and application content on all your different Apple devices. So things from Pages, Keynote, Numbers, Apple Notes, Reminders, Calendar, all those different Apple apps, it transfers to all your different devices, making it feel like you're just using one Apple device at all times because all your content is just always there. Now in terms of battery life with these MacBook Pro models, you can basically get through a full day with on and off usage, but for intensive Photoshop editing, Final Cut Pro editing, the battery kind of tanks over time. Now these are definitely processor and graphically intensive programs, and I can't really fault the computer that much, but I wish the battery life was a bit better on these computers in general, so always bring your charger with you on the go. So in summary, buying a MacBook Pro, the price is definitely pretty high at first, but there are ways to actually reduce that price, and the return on investment on buying a MacBook Pro is really excellent. There's an awesome design, great build quality, and for what I use it for, the computer performs extremely well for Final Cut Pro 10, Photoshop editing, InDesign editing. It works great for me, my personal work, and my program. You also of course get all those Apple-only benefits like the whole iCloud super unified software experience and the exclusive Apple software like Final Cut Pro 10 and the Apple iWork suite. I wish the battery life was a bit better on this system and MacBook Pros in general, but it really isn't totally unusable or anything, just keep your charger with you. Every time I buy a new MacBook Pro, I'm always happy with it as a personal investment, and it's just a fantastic overall laptop experience every single time. Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on actually buying a MacBook Pro for school. Have you used one? Do you currently use one? Do you plan to buy one for school? Let me know down below, and thank you for watching.